Everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is going to be such a fun session. I'm not really going to be saying much. I just wanted to come on here to introduce this amazing person because I love her with all of my heart, everything that I am. So Shauna Markey and I have known each other. Actually, we played opposite each other in a show, a reading once, if you can believe it, because I'm 6'4" and Shauna's like
5 foot on a good day.
On a good day. And it was the most fun. Like that's where we instantly bonded and have been, I know, lifelong friends ever since. And she directed and choreographed our production of The Wizard of Oz. She is on TV more than anybody else I know, because every time I turn on my TV, there she is. So no better person than to talk to you about how to create the best video submission ever, Miss Shauna Markey.
Markey. Excellent. Hi, everybody. It's so great to see everybody. I was kind of like looking through this gallery to see all these amazing faces. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I see so many fantastic people. I see Tamlin and Jennifer, and it's like romper room. And I see Stacy, and I see Carol. Wow. Yeah, you guys, thank you so much for showing up on this Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? Sure, Tuesday. It's like every other day. On this amazing Tuesday afternoon to come get a few little nuggets about how to self-tape. So before we begin, I'm a little overwhelmed by how much all these amazing faces that I'm getting to see. So I'm going to request, oh, hi, Vivian. I'm going to request you guys show your faces because I want to just kind of get a sense of who's in the room right now in terms of like where you are. So first thing I want to see, raise your hand, you guys, if you are a performer yourself, if you are a working performer yourself. Very good. Excellent. Awesome. Great, 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 great. I see a lot of people not showing their faces. Vernon, come on. I'm kidding.
Vernon.
Help people out. Excellent. Okay, put your hands in. And then I want to know how many of you guys are like parents or somebody that has to stand behind the camera and run the whole skit. You're like the camera operator, the sound guy, the DP, the crafts services. You do the whole thing. Okay, great. And then I also want to know how many of you guys have ever had to do a self-tape before. So let me know if you've ever had to do a self-tape audition, not just for grandma. Dance for grandma, dance for grandma. Okay, looking great, 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 great. Okay, and then how many of you guys dread it? How many of you guys are like, oh my stars, what in the name of all that is going on in the world? Yes, right? It is like this, can be this big, huge, scary monster. So hopefully we're gonna get rid of some of those big, scary monsters today for you guys. I have a lot to get through. We'll get through as much as we can. We might need a part 2 of this because as I was working on this at 4 a.m., yeah, it was 4. I was like, oh my gosh, there's just so much to it, right? So I'm gonna hopefully send you away today with at least enough to feel like, you know, if TJ or somebody called you in tomorrow, you would at least have some sort of parameters around it and it wouldn't feel so ooga booga to you guys, okay? And there's a lot of nuances. And oh, I forgot one more question. How many of you guys are musical theater only, not TV film, but only doing musical theater? Great, good, 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 good. All right. I don't even need to go to page 4. And then how many of you guys are cross-trained? So you do TV and film and you do musical theater, like me. Yeah, good. All right. And I know a lot of my clients in particular, that's one of the things we work on is cross-training you guys. Since, you know, Hollywood is right in your backyard, we like to take advantage of that. And I don't know if you guys know this, but there is over 10 productions right now, and TJ, you can probably even speak to this, that are being made into movies or musical series. So we know like Dear Evan Hansen, 13, I heard Matilda. So there's a bunch of stuff that are crossing over now. So this is really, 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 really a great time to fall in love with this guy right here, your camera, okay? Because this is the way we're heading. Obviously with COVID, it's gonna be vital, crucial, and I think TJ can even speak to this, that, you know, probably the first round of your theater auditions are gonna be on tape, and then they'll slowly invite people into the room. But I think the days of, you know, 50 people dancing in a big room are kind of numbered for a little while, at least until we get this sorted out. So yay for you guys, because you are ahead of the game. You are on the cutting edge of all of this. So we always want to be a couple steps before. So I'm gonna jump over, I think. Whee! I'm going to try to share my screen with you guys. We'll see if this works. You can tell me if it's a yay or a nay. Let's see, I want to do this guy, I think. So let me see if I can share this with you. And then if I put this. So let me know if you guys can see that. Yes? Good,
yes,
good, good. Oh.
Looks good.
So one of the things, a friend of William and I, he does a great show called Signing the Song. So if you ever need to applaud, this is what we're doing for that, or thumbs up or thumbs down if you don't like what we're doing. Okay, very good. So I'm gonna go through this with you guys, and then hopefully I'm gonna kind of go at a pretty good pace just initially, so that we can get as much information in, and then after that, I want to kind of give you the setup, which is why I've got all the equipment behind me. So first of all, who the heck is Shauna? Why am I even here? What the heck? Besides being TJ's love interest on stage. So just so those of you who don't know me, I am a musical theater girl by nature. I got my start I went to school in San Diego, and left San Diego to move to the Big Bad Apple. And from there I did some international tours, and I got to do Wizard of Oz, the national tour of Wizard of Oz, although we did go international too. But we did the national tour of Wizard of Oz with Mickey Rooney and Eartha Kitt and Joanne Worley, and got to play Madison Square Gardens on that, and had really great New York experiences. But it was about after the first, about halfway, maybe 3/4 of the way through my first year of tour, I had what I consider my third life crisis, where I was really burned out and kind of sad, honestly, because I trained my whole life to be on Broadway and be touring at this level. And I just felt like, oh, wow, this is it. It's the same, for me, it felt like, it's the same sort of thing I've been doing forever, just with a bigger budget, more like a 3D theatrical show budget. It was just a bigger budget, but I was like, wah, wah, this is it. Boom. So I moved back to LA, partially because I met a boy when I was on tour, but also I moved back to LA, and from there, I sort of picked up where I left off. Oh, I'd moved to LA for just a teeny bit before I moved to New York after school. So I picked up where I left off with Disney and doing a bunch of shows with Disney and their special events. And then I just got the bug, and I was like, you know what? I want to explore TV and film a little bit. And so I took off with that, and got an agent who I was with for a very, very long time. And they also represented Veeam for musical theater. And so I started to learn TV and film, commercials, and voiceover. And turns out, y'all, they play nicely together, because in order to be successful in commercials specifically, but also TV, you need timing. You really need to have timing. And so, and a lot of it is reshooting. And so the skills that I learned in learning choreography and having to replicate it night after night after night, doing the same show for 2 years, really paid off, because I was like, oh, I can hit a mark, and I can actually deliver the same line reading or make little small adjustments. So then I just started launching into that. I tried to keep doing theater and musical theater as much as I could, but my agents were like, no, because they, there's not typically understudies in LA. So, you know, that would take me out of being able to do on camera work. So they were like, yeah, choose. So I chose to continue doing TV and film, and I still work with the Musical Theater Guild to get my little fix of musicals and stuff. And I support it, and I love it, and I coach it. So, oh my gosh, I'm touching stuff. Don't touch stuff. Holy moly. See, this is what happens, boys and girls. You don't know where you are. That's at the end. I'm going to stop this share for 1 minute because I don't know what I'm doing. Yay, technical difficulties. Nope, that's not what I wanted either. Can you guys see me still?
Yes, we see you.
Okay, all right. So anyway, so that's kind of a little bit about that. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of this. So basically, what we're in a sort of a new normal, right, you guys? So what is predictably going to happen, and I spoke to it a minute ago, but predictably what's going to happen is most of your auditions will most likely, the first cut of it will be on tape. It's just, David Vaughn was on the other day and he was talking about like just to weed it out, right? So most of your initial auditions are probably going to be on self-tape, and then they'll bring you back for, you know, callbacks. It is possible, you all, and I've been on a casting director thing, and it is really possible that you will, the very first time you meet your director and your producers and all of that might be the first day of rehearsal or when you get to the set. So that is kind of where we're headed at this point. So I just want to present that so it's so that you know how important it is that you really become a guru of your taping, you know, and you really are able to showcase your best self on that. Also, predictably, is that the turnaround time for your self-tapes is going to get shorter and shorter. So again, the more you can be prepared, the more you can have the equipment ready to go, the better you are going to do, right? So I actually have a studio where I coach and I teach out of. However, I literally chose to do this in my living room so you guys could see how easy it could be. I wanted to kind of not, you know, because I have really big fancy lights in my studio with LED and and dimmers and, you know, barn doors and all of that. But I wanted you to see how easy you can do this and how affordably you can do this. So that was my goal. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to set it up in my house. So this right here behind me is my backdrop. And you can, I'm going to give you guys the information on how to get all the equipment. If you want to, you can email me after this and I can give you the link. I put together like the Rolls Royce of equipment, and then I put together your Honda of equipment, and then I put together your, I don't know what would be less. I don't want to offend anybody if you're like, that's my car, but a less affordable. So, you know, maybe a bicycle. So I'm giving you guys in the folder that I've got, you guys can have access to the different kinds of equipment that you can buy. So that's one of the things I wanted to just sort of say. And this is just, this is a very cheap ring light. There's more expensive ones, but this one is, I think, $30 or something, very cheap. I don't have it on me because I am actually facing a light that has natural window, or a window that has natural light. So I don't need it at this moment, but I might need it in a minute. So let's talk about how you're going to have your submission stand out from literally thousands of people, y'all. Like, so one of the good news and the bad news about us going self-taping, hold on, I need to hydrate, is that it allows casting to see a lot more people. Because normally, you know, you have everybody's like in these 10-minute slots, right? When you go to audition, you have a 10 to 15-minute slot, depending on if it's an audition or a callback. They're scheduled that way. Well, if you are a casting director and you have the luxury of hitting a remote control and fast forwarding, you can get through a lot more people. So it's crucial, vital, so important that your tapes really shine. And one of the things I always say to my clients who coach with me all the time, you guys know this, you'll be like, you know, it only takes 10 seconds to make a first impression. So it's important that your self-tapes are really riveting and grab us right out of the gate and grab casting. Otherwise, they will use the little fast forward button that we have all come to love and know. So, you know, how do we keep them watching, right? That's the game. How do you keep them watching? You want to keep them watching. You want them watching till the end. And how do you make this camera your new BFF? Because it really does have to feel like it's your best friend. It's so funny because, you know, I'll coach in person with people and then I'll put my camera up to tape them. And it's literally like, right? And it's like, oh no, it's watching. So you really want to make the camera your new BFF. And so there's different techniques that you can do that and things that you can work on so that, you know, the lens doesn't become a big scary monster, whether that's your phone lens, you know, off your camera. By the way, these are amazing. These little guy. I literally bought this camera just so I could shoot self-tapes in HD. And I retired my other one because I was like, this is so much easier. So whether it's in the lens of this camera lens or on your computer or on an iPad or an actual camera, whatever it is, that becomes your new best friend. And then how do you look professional but still show your personality, right? The magic words that they always say. We want to see your personality, right? So it's like, how do you accomplish that and still come off as professional? Yeah. So here are a couple things that I say are essentials. And I'm going to get into them a little bit, but I'm going to give you this. Maybe I am. I'm not sharing with you right now, right? It's just me and my background.
Just you.
Okay, perfect. So let me go share again and see if I can get this to you guys. Let me share that. So these are some of the essentials that you need to have. So, and we're gonna go through this a little bit more in a second, but the first thing is your lighting, right? So important, really, really, like more than you can even imagine. Your lighting is important. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to go spend a bunch of money on it, but it does mean that it's crucial. The background. I was on a casting director workshop and they asked, what are your pet peeves? And they're like, seeing a dirty, messy room in the background. Like, that makes me crazy, you know, like that drives me absolutely nuts. Like, cause I can't focus on you, I'm focusing on that. Your camera and your sound. These are super duper important, especially for our musical theater performers. This is crucial, vital, because if they can't hear you and they can't hear the nuances of your voice, you know, because you sound like you're singing into a tin can, it's not going to be effective and it's not going to grab them, right? Your slate and your contact card. So a slate, for those of you who, actually, let me see a raise of hands. Who knows what a slate is? Raise your hand. Very good, very good. Now, we're going to get to it, but who knows the difference between a musical theater slate and a TV film slate? Yeah, good. Some of you do. Excellent. I know that's one of the things I always work on with my clients so that you guys know the difference of those two. Okay, perfect. And then the main difference and why I bolded this is the framing and the focus are very different for if you're auditioning for musical theater versus TV and film. I'm taking another sip of water. I need to stay hydrated. So those are big, big differences when it comes to that. And then making sure that your scenes are well rehearsed and coached, and your songs too. So let me see if I can do this. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about lighting. So first and foremost, we need to see your face clearly with no shadows. I repeat, no shadows. So what that means is, where I always point my clients is, first of all, look for a big window in your house. I'm gonna try to do one thing really quickly. Let me see if I'm gonna do this. Thanks for bearing with me while I figure this out. So this might be a terrible idea, but I'm gonna try to turn you guys around a little bit here so you can see. You'll see my cat. But as you can see, this is this big window. Now, again, I have my curtains closed right now because it was too much. You know, like I was doing one of the ghosts in Addams Family. So I close my curtains, but these are really great. If you have a place that has natural light, use your natural light if possible. So then, so natural lighting you can absolutely use, or you can, like I said, you can use the equipment list. Let me see if I'm doing this. Tell me if you guys see. Not if you see the screen share again. Good, thank you, Gigi. Okay, so you can get, so there's, like I sort of started to mention, you can get equipment, you can get really tricked out equipment that's, you know, will cost you hundreds and hundreds. Like, you know, if you went into an actual audition room, they would have this fancy equipment, but you can also buy a ring light for 30 bucks, y'all. Like, it's, so you don't have to spend a ton of money on it. If you, that's even hard for you, you know, you can also take 2 lamps, actually 3 if you've got them, but 2 is fine. Take the lampshades off of them, put them on either side, so you've got of the camera, so you've got even balance light coming at you, and shoot that way, okay? So you want to make sure your lighting is consistent. It's so important. If you're like, you know, if you have one shot where you slated and then you know, and then you went away and hours later you recorded the scene, well, now it's dark out and the lighting's all different, right? So make sure if you are going to use natural lighting to shoot at the same time of the day if you need to do multiple takes, right? So that you get consistent lighting. It's mostly because it just is jarring, you know, if it's like, wait, why are they suddenly like midnight at the Oasis versus, you know, feeling like it was all done in one day. Casting likes to feel like you didn't spend hours editing this, and that it's kind of like what it would be if you just came into the room. So one of the ways you can do that is to help them by, you know, having, obviously wearing the same outfit, wearing the same hair, having your everything the same, but also making sure your lighting and the placement and the camera angles and everything were the same. Yes? All right, let's move on. I'm gonna look really quickly. I just wanna make sure. Oh, good, okay. We're only 2:27. I'm like trying to go through this quick. All right, backgrounds. So what you guys need, what's essential is a solid color. With no distractions. So that can look like a wall that's painted in your house that doesn't have anything hanging on it, or if you need to take something down, take it down, something that you can take down and put up. But it could be a wall, a nice colored wall. I wouldn't go with anything that's like brown or too crazy bright. But you know, if you've got like, in a perfect world, like blues, grays, greens, not greens, sorry, blues, grays, whites, those tend to shoot really, really well. If you don't have that, get a sheet and painter's tape, y'all. Like, put up a sheet, but please, please, please make sure that it is, I'm going to jump to number 3. Make sure if you are going to hang a sheet up in your house, make sure you iron it. It is another pet peeve of casting directors to be looking at like crumpled wrinkles on their background. So if you are going to do it that way, you know, get some painter's tape, put up a sheet, you know, and order a full-size sheet from Amazon or something, or Walmart.com or whatever, and put something up that's a color that looks good on you. So that's important, you guys. So if you are pale and you shoot on white, it's probably not going to look great. Same thing, if you have dark hair and you shoot on black, you're not gonna see you as much. I love shooting on white for me just because I feel like it looks clean. But I also have, in my studio, I have a blue backdrop. And I also have sort of a mint green color. In fact, this color that is up in the background where it says background, that's a really great color as well. And again, all of this stuff is in the document. If you want to email me and ask for that, the link to that, I will happily share, you know, some background options that you can buy. I put size matters. So especially for musical theater performers, size matters. And that's about the frame. So a lot of times for musical theater, they're going to want a full body shot if you're dancing. So for example, the screen that I have behind me wouldn't necessarily be effective because you can see on the other sides of it, right? So you can see here. So if I were to stand in front of it, you would see, you know, down below it, and you would see the sides, you know, you'd see everything else. So this would not necessarily be what I would use at all for if I had to do dancing, or if the director wants a 3/4 shot, or a pre-screens for those of you guys going to college. I wouldn't use this for your musical theater pre-screen stuff. I would go ahead and buy a bigger one. Again, these are things that I can, that are in there's different options in the link, on the email link that I can give you guys. Okay, I'm gonna go back to sharing really quickly. Getting facile at this, or trying. All right, so, is that right? Did I do that? Did I go the right place? Hee. This is so much fun to see how this goes. It just has a mind of its own. It just kind of jumps around to whatever it wants me to do. It's like, you're going to talk about this now, Shauna. No, I'm not. Okay, let me escape. Let me get back. Thank you very much. Thanks for your patience, y'all, while we do this. Okay, so here we go. Let's go into, we did lighting, we did background. Okay, now I'm gonna share our camera options. So let's see here. Okay, so camera. I mentioned to you guys before that I literally bought the iPhone 11, or anyone that has the 3. I think some of the 10s have it too, or is it only the 11? I don't remember. But anyway, I bought that camera specifically so that I could minimize my self-tape equipment. I like compact. That's sort of my jam. I like to be able to throw it in my car. By the way, that screen behind me folds up into this little tiny saucer that you can store under your bed. It's fantastic. And all this other lighting equipment that I have packs away in a travel size suitcase, including my tripods and stuff. So you can go trick it out again with a nice expensive camera, but it's not necessary. If you do end up shooting on an iPad, it is vital, crucial, so important that you shoot horizontal. I think we're so used to Instagram and stuff where we shoot vertically, but it makes your submissions sideways and they just won't watch them. They're not going to tip their head sideways to watch the whole time. So please make sure you're shooting horizontal. You want to adjust the camera so that you're getting a good resolution. on your iPhone. So that might be, or, you know, if your Samsung's even got a even more tricked out camera on theirs, but, you know, call your tech support, make sure you're getting the best quality resolution for your tape. You have to be able to zoom in some capacity. So that's important. You need to be able to zoom in and zoom out. And as my clients will attest, that can sometimes be tricky on an iPad, but so it's something you want to, or on an iPad or an iPhone. It's a little easier on an iPad, but it can be a little like, you know, sleight of the hand, but practice it, you know, and you can actually get it down. Or you can buy, you know, a reasonably good price camera with a USB card and do it that way as well. You definitely want it mounted. Please don't try to hold it. Inevitably, your hands are going to be shaking and we're going to be watching like in an earthquake. So if you can, you know, the tripod that I have behind me is literally, I think, 25 bucks. Super important that you make sure your tripod goes to 72 inches, not 60. Most of them go to 60, but 72 will, unless you're teeny tiny, 60 inches is not enough, and we'll be looking up your nostrils. So we want to be eye to eye with you when the camera is on. We don't want to be shooting up. A lot of you guys set your cameras, when I coach with you, you set them down on the table and I'm literally watching your nostrils act. So you don't want to do that. And you also don't want it to be too high, like, so it's like you're shooting from a satellite. So eye to eye is the best way to have your camera where it's positioned. And again, same thing, if you want to know more about this, go ahead and reach out to me. All right, sound. So like I mentioned, we must be able to hear you clearly. This is so crucial, you guys. In fact, let me see if I got it. I'm gonna show you what I use. I'm going to stop this share for 1 second. Again, I like to be minimal and I like to have things compact. So this is the guy I use. He attaches to my iPhone and bing, bang, boom. I've got a boom mic in a box ready to go, right? Simple, easy breezy. I can pack this in my little travel carry-on suitcase with the tripod and this ring light. I'm out the door. And then the backdrop folding all up into a nice little compact thing. So this is the thing, that's the one I like to use for my recordings. I recommend a boom mic over a lav mic, unless you have a lot of noise in the area, you know.
Hey, Shauna, would you be so kind as to share that box again and say what the brand name is?
Yeah, actually, Gigi, it's all in that folder. So when people email me, I've got all the information and the links on how to order it on Amazon. I've even price pointed it for you guys. I went and like shopped around and got the best deal on it too. So this little guy, but there's a bunch of them. I have options in that email, in that folder for you guys. You can look at. Now, because if you're a singer, you might want to invest in a little bit more expensive one. Like if you're actually planning to do some self-recording in your home, you might want to invest a little bit, you know? So sound is super important, you guys. And what's also important, let me go back here, new. Can you see that again? What's also very important is that you do a test shot. So I've had this happen time and time again with my clients where they didn't test the sound and they get done, they have a great take, and then all of a sudden they go to play it back and either the accompaniment, you can't hear the accompaniment, or the accompaniment is way too loud and you can't hear their voice, or the person they're reading with is standing right next to the camera, so their voice is picking up louder than yours. So it's super important that you guys do a test before you actually lay down the real thing, okay? So to give it a dress rehearsal, do a dry run, make adjustments if need be, but don't just play it back on your phone if you're recording. You need to put it into real speakers to see what you know, Amber or one of the other casting directors is going to be hearing, or TJ, right? You need to hear what they're going to be hearing. And you need to see it not just on a little camera, but see it if you actually had it on a screen, right? So I recommend doing that. And if you're going to use an accompaniment, please, you guys, please, on behalf of all the casting directors, please make it professional. I have links to people that can actually make a quick audition cut of your song for you. If you don't have that, don't sing along to the soundtrack. Please don't sing along to the soundtrack, and please make the cuts so that the music doesn't just keep going and you're done, because that's just awkward, you know, like it's like the music is playing and you're like, I don't know how to end my song, awkward. So, you know, you can, for $10, $15, you can spend money and just have the accompaniment played by a pianist. So it actually sounds like what it would have really sounded like, not, you know, full orchestra, because unfortunately we don't have that budget. When you go, most theaters don't have the budget to have an orchestra ready for you for your audition. So, you know, make it sound like as if you were there auditioning in the room with a live accompanist as much as possible. Your casting directors and your directors and even your choreographers will thank you. Okay, slating. Okay, so this is where we start to get into a little bit of a difference of TV film versus musical theater or theater. So for a TV film, it's traditionally just your first name, last name, and your age if you are under 18 years old. Now, why this? So a lot of my musical theater kids come and they're like, and I'll be performing blah, 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 right? And so for TV and film, you've actually been invited to the audition. So you don't need to tell us what you're auditioning for, because they invited you. So they already know what you're auditioning for. So you don't need to tell us that you'll be doing a monologue or you'll be doing a scene or anything. You can just give us the name, first name, last name, and your age. Now for theater, they usually want to know what you're singing. A little tip for our college kids, those of you who are getting ready to do pre-screens, they also want to know who wrote it. So know your composers and know your lyricists. So, but that would be first name, last name, age, and what you'll be singing or what you'll be performing. Make sense? Everybody nodding? Yes, thumbs upping. Good, 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 good. Now, again, this is one of these like big bugaboos and no-nos. It's so important, you guys, that you read all the directions of the submission. Don't skim it. Don't pretend you know. Don't be like, oh, it's just business as usual. Read it from top to bottom, because they will often tell you exactly how they want you to slate. Do they want you to include what city you're from? Do they want you to include your height? Do they want you to include your weight? Do they want you to include, you know, your favorite pastime? They can ask a lot of different things. So it's important that you are giving them exactly what they want. So please read your directions before that. And then, you know, it really is, the slate really is an opportunity. And I coach this all the time to my clients. It's not just, hi, my name is Shauna and I'll be doing blah, 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 right? It's actually an opportunity for them to get to know you. And in terms of, you know, making it memorable and last, there's definitely a niche and a knack that I coach my clients in, and having your slate stand out so they keep watching. Again, the name of the game is you want to keep them watching. You want to keep them interested. You want to keep them engaged, right? All right. So, and then at the end of every submission, you should have a contact card. If you need an example of what that is, again, I can provide that for you. Traditionally, it does go at the end, not at the beginning, because time is money for casting directors, and they don't want to sit through 10 seconds of, you know, looking at your name and your phone number if you can't act your way out of a paper bag. It's like, well, thank you. Those are 10 seconds of my life I'll never get back. So do them at the very end, and you want to make sure it's got your cell phone number or your guardian's phone number if you are under 18, and or it's up to you, but that's, you know, some of my teenagers are very independent and they kind of run their own thing, and some still have their momagers doing their work for them. So that would be, you know, up to you, but whatever contact is going to be the best way for them to reach you. Super duper crazy. I wish I could have bold red, you know, put this, you know, in skywriting. Never, ever, ever use your personal, put your home address or your home phone number on contact card information. You never know where, and I'm not a paranoid person at all. I am not paranoid. I'm always cautiously optimistic about the business, but you never know where that's going to land. Oh, by the way, that's for your resume as well. You never know where that's going to land. And now they have a picture of you and they've got your first name and your last name and a home phone number. It's just not smart. It's just not safe, and it's not smart. And unfortunately, there are people out there that are not well intended. So I don't want you to be paranoid about it at all, but I do want you to be responsible for it and to be, like I said, cautiously optimistic about it. So with that, use a neutral email address. Gmails are great, or a Yahoo, or something that's not your personal one. Like if it for some reason started to get spammed, you don't want that. Make sure it's clean and legible. I had a client who put really pretty colors, but you couldn't read it because it was like, it was white on like a baby blue. And I was like, I'm gonna look at this for 4 seconds. I need to be able to read it clearly. Now, you can put it in your brand and make it, you know, like a personality thing if you want to. That is totally an option. It doesn't just have to be like black and white, but make sure it's really legible and the fonts you use are legible and easy to get to as it flashes across the screen. If you want, you can add your social media links, and at the very, 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 very end of your submission, you can put a current headshot in the frame as just that, you know, as the last shot of the submission, so that they are like, again, this is me. Awesome. Okay, quick gratitude break. Whee! It's like the seventh inning stretch. So I just wanted to take a moment and first of all, thank you guys. Again, I know you guys are all busy Zooming. There's so many opportunities. And I know I speak on behalf of 3DT and myself when we say we're so grateful that you took the time today to come to us. We're not done by any means, so we're getting actually to the real good stuff, so don't leave yet. But I really wanted to take a moment to thank 3D Theatricals for putting these together. And Gigi, if you would do me a favor and put in the link in the bio or whatever in the thing, how people can sign up for it. For more of these, just so
well, you know, actually we post, thanks for, hi everybody, Gigi, 3D Theatricals. We only have a few minutes left actually in our session, so we kind of have to wrap up, and we will have Shauna back. There's just so much information, it's too hard to put together in just this short amount of time. So in the chat, I have placed her email address. So I know in the chat, there's been a lot of questions. If you guys would be so kind as to email those questions to Shauna.
Did you put the info@StarUR one?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Yes. You believe that's the one you've had on everything, so it's the one.
Yeah.
I but we post all of our information for, you know, we do Monday through Friday. We do about 6 sessions a day. We will post always our schedule on our website, on our Facebook, Instagram, as well as on our email mailing lists. So that's how you can, it's perfectly free. We've been providing the 3D+U sessions for free during the stay-at-home order because we want to gather, we want to have something for you to do while we're all home and learn from and get these masterclass from these amazing people. We've had everything from drag makeup 101, as you can see, I'm proud participant of, and to casting director roundtables, to ballet classes, jazz classes, magic, how to put together a reel, how to put together a vocal reel, vocal coaching. We've John Bon Jovi's vocal coach. So there's so much that we're offering. So take advantage of all of this, all these master classes.
And not to mention like huge Broadway people. I mean, it's been, my jaw's been on the floor every day. Like, oh yeah, you know, just me and Allison Ripley hanging out here. What? Okay, so I know we have to, Gigi, can I use a few more minutes here?
We've got 3 more minutes.
Whee! All right, let's see how much we can get accomplished. So yeah, all I want to say about this is, you know, if you guys can donate, any little bit helps. Obviously our theaters right now are just struggling, and I know everybody's asking for money, and you know, and if you don't have it, don't give it. Please, you know, feed your family first and foremost. But if you do have an extra and you are getting any value out of this or any of the other things they offer, please consider giving them a donation. Okay, so framing. I'm going to go through this insanely fast, and we'll have to do another round of this because there's so much more to this. So traditional framing for TV and film is what you call a tight shot or a medium shot. But they may ask you for a full body shot with your slate, and they may ask for to see your profile and your hands. Again, that is session number 2 because it's more than I can really get into. But for theater, traditionally they want a medium or a 3/4 shot. A 3/4 shot is basically from your knees up. A medium shot is basically your waist up, or at your elbow. You can do an elbow up sort of tight shot. It's important that your framing doesn't have a lot of extra stuff going on. So you want to not, you know, have your displaying your can lights and your ceiling as much as possible. Try to keep it as inside the frame. And again, this is going to have to be session number 2 to get through all of this. But those are the options there. In addition, this is, okay, so this is what I just wanted to sort of end with, you guys. So it's so important, and I'm not saying this because I am a coach, but it really, 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 really is important that you coach and or at least run through your stuff with somebody. Just because you just can't be a champion at something if you are going it alone. It just doesn't exist. If you want to be an expert in anything and you really want to be competitive, you know, I challenge you to find anybody who's award-winning and or has gotten as far as they've gotten, you know, won anything without having coaches and or somebody to bounce stuff off. So in the time of isolation, please don't isolate yourself from that. It's super important that you get feedback, right? Especially on self-tapes and stuff. You know, with my clients, I try to look through their stuff before they even send it out just to make sure we got everything on point. Okay, so just don't do that. And just overall, thank you guys so much. If you want to follow me on Instagram or on Facebook, if you're not already, please do. I try to post little tips and tricks all the time for you guys. And again, if you need any of the information on the equipment or any of that, please reach out if you have questions. I know this is kind of fast and furious. Be kind to each other, love each other, and make today amazing.